Peak platforming is back on the menu, boys. Is Ghostrunner 2 a worthy successor to one of the best AA games I've ever played? Most likely yes. Anyway, let's get into it. Ghostrunner 2 was developed by One More Level and published by 505 Games. The story takes place 1 year after the events of the first game when Mara the Keymaster was defeated. Now just outside the comfort of Dharma Tower, a new threat emerges, a violent AI cult led by a rebellious former Ghostrunner. Now Jack has to take them on and shape the future of humankind. Not only is the story better in this game, but it's better presented. There are multiple fully fledged cutscenes. There are organic cutscene to gameplay transitions that aren't just loading screens. A couple of plot points from Project Hell were brought up as Easter eggs, mostly just Bakuna even being here at all, so they didn't completely forget about it like I almost did. There's actually a hub world where you can choose your upgrades and talk to different NPCs. On the topic, there's these two guys, Butch and Victor, that have quirky one-off dialogues whenever you go to Connor's office, and sometimes they can actually be entertaining.
Well, you know, he's kind of famous, right?
We're all famous. We're the fucking climbers. We took down the Keymaster.
It was mostly him, though, wasn't it?
It was a team effort, and there's neither G nor R in team.
But like I said, the story itself is much better. Instead of having Zoe be pretty much the only supporting character in this game, you have 3 others. The main antagonists are revealed in the first mission, and there isn't a plot twist antagonist like the Architect in Ghostrunner 1. This gives us a chance to really grow with their villainy and not have to adapt to them being villains within the last 30 minutes of the game. The same environmental storytelling from the first game is present with the artifacts, and they're left mysterious until you pick up the pieces later on. So overall, a massive upgrade. Ghostrunner 2 is a first-person platformer. The core gameplay remains the same, that being fast-paced, one-hit kill combat encounters connected via various platforming segments. However, a bunch of the mechanics have been reworked. Enemies will now behave differently depending on which skills you use against them. The player progression has also been redone, putting more of an emphasis on customization. And the biggest change of all, we got a motorcycle, yippee! The main combat is still as great as it was in Ghostrunner 1, and in some instances even better. There are some neat little quality of life changes, like throwing a shuriken at larger enemies will stun them, and you can grapple as well. The environment is also more interactive, like there are these giant screens so you can slam onto enemies, crushing them. The level geometry is also much more unique here and then than Ghostrunner 1, putting more of an emphasis on creativity. The platforming can still be a bit janky, but it's still a blast to play. There's also more boss fights in here than in 1. Here, the fights are very refreshing, being more unique than Hell and Mara. They make use of their environments, have different gameplay mechanics, and one even sends you into the cyber void multiple times during it. Boss fights don't feel like an abrupt halt to the pacing, they're now excellent ways to cap off different levels. Regarding the motorcycle, the controls can honestly get kinda clunky at times. Just driving in a straight line is fine, but it's really easy to immediately crash because the level design itself feels way too cluttered at times. There are sequences where you can drive on the wall, and if you don't have enough momentum, you just go static and explode or some shit. There's also a new game mode unlocked by a story progression called Roadrunner.exe. This is a roguelike game mode. God, does everything have to be a roguelike? You'll be placed into random arenas and in typical roguelike fashion be given different abilities each run. You have multiple branching stages to choose from, and you can choose either a parkour or combat stage each time. You start off with 5 lives, but can earn more as a stage completion reward. Roadrunner isn't a bad game mode, but despite being a roguelike, personally it lacks replayability. Unlike the kill run game mode we got last game, after I got through stage 4 it was a once and done thing. I pretty much only played it to get the sword and gloves needed for 100%. For what it is, it's pretty fun because it is more Ghostrunner, but I don't have much of a reason to go back to it now. The performance in Ghostrunner 2 is decent. While you're in Dharma Tower, there aren't any issues, but they start to become more prevalent when you actually exit Dharma and enter the outside world. There, I actually started to notice the frame drops, but I am pretty forgiving towards this because these open world areas are very big by Ghostrunner standards. Not only that, but Cyber Void is much more detailed and interactive than in the first game. These all probably explain why the game is nearly twice as big as Ghostrunner 1. I also got quite a few stutters during the later stages of Roadrunner, so there's that. Ghostrunner 2 is in nearly every sense a major upgrade from the first game. Everything from the story, to the gameplay, to the cyber void, to the soundtrack are all refined, enhanced, and upgraded, giving us the ultimate first-person platforming experience. Ghostrunner 2 is available on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam, the Epic Games Store, and GOG.com. There are 3 different versions available: Standard, Deluxe, and Brutal. The Standard Edition costs $40 and comes with just the base game. The Deluxe Edition costs $50 and comes with the Deluxe Pack, which contains the Arimon's Katana, Modern Energy, Molten Blade, and Gothic Blue skins for your hand and sword. Additionally, the Deluxe Pack comes with a hologram for your hand that displays your gamertag. The Brutal Edition costs $70 and comes with the Deluxe and Brutal packs and the Season Pass. The Brutal Pack comes with an animated Aqua skin for your hand and sword, and a Design 24A skin for your motorcycle. The Season Pass, which has a $19.99 value, will eventually come with 4 DLC skin packs, each of which containing 3 skins each for your sword and hand, as well as 1 motorcycle skin each. The Season Pass will also come with 1 new game mode. The first DLC pack will be the Ice Pack, releasing on December 7th. Also, while originally included as a pre-order bonus, the traditional Katana pack, which includes the Red-Eye traditional sword and hand skins and Golden traditional sword and hand skins, will be released at a later date. If you're still on the fence about this game, there's a playable demo for both Ghostrunner 2 and the first game. For 2 specifically, it covers a mission from about halfway into the game.